Is it possible to immediately hook your reader and keep reading? What if I told you you can make your reader care about your character in 1 minute? It's possible. How can your story make a difference? What if storytelling is a cinematography for writers, creating addictive, immersive stories like their movies, and make your writer dreams come true? Hey, it's Catherine. Hit that subscribe button and like this video. Let's dive in. When writing your story, you want to be able to hook your reader immediately and become invested in your story. How do you do that? It's the 1 minute rule. But how can you do that on the first and second page? The 1 minute rule needs to have the following. 1. The event that causes the character's misbelief. 2. Their desire and fear, internal conflict, and their values. 3. A change or challenge that pushed the character out of their comfort zone. Here's an example from my work-in-progress book, The Magical One's excerpt. Paloma Falls is a picturesque small town where everyone knows each other. It's like a magical place. Forests of fireflies, sparkling waters of the waterfalls, and the town says we seem like a fairy tale in modern times. Casey was excited to see her grandmother, who had come back from her travels around the world. When she settled in, she looked for Casey and found her in the kitchen eating breakfast at the wooden table. It was a bright morning. The sun streamed in from the windows, greeting the warmth of the sunrise. "There you are. I was looking for you," Charlene said sweetly. She had her platinum blonde hair in a bun. Her glowing blue eyes always sparkled with excitement. Charlene wore a pink blouse and dark jean pants. "I can tell you have something to show me," Casey examined, noting the sparkle in her grandmother's eyes. "You are so smart," she smiled. "Come, I have a gift for you," Casey's grandmother says as she reaches out her hand. Hand in hand, the two headed for the stairs. "You know, Casey, there's something on my mind," Charlene says, stopping midway up the stairs. "Is everything okay?" Casey asks her, concerned. Knowing her grandmother, whatever is on her mind is usually reflective of her life. "I find it an odd day. I say that because I feel my life might be complete," Charlene said softly and contemplatively. "What do you mean by complete? I don't understand," Casey asked. "It means my life is coming to an end, Casey." "I know it," Casey's grandmother answered with a smile. "Don't say that. I need you. I don't want to be alone," Casey said, fearfulness in her voice. "I know I just arrived from my trip, but I had to tell you," Charlene said. Her eyes fell to the carpeted step as she sighed. "Casey, even without me, you'll be fine," her grandmother said, encouragingly. "But I'm scared of being alone." Casey looked up at her grandmother. "I feel misplaced, and I don't know why," Casey sighed. "I love you. I can't lose you," Casey replied, and gave her grandmother a somber, lost look that Charlene would never forget. They proceeded upstairs, and to the left there was an arched door at the end of the hall. "You're afraid of being lonely?" Charlene asked. "Yeah, that's why I need you," Casey answered as the two approached the door. "I'm always with you. Now come," Charlene said as she swung open the door to the attic. They walked up the wooden stairs. Sunlight streamed in from the window. There were many boxes everywhere, and there was a chest. Charlene approached the chest, kneeling in front of it, and opened it. As Casey stood near her, Charlene dug into the chest and pulled out a blue floral gold-rimmed box. She gets up and hands it over to Casey. Casey opens it to find the most beautiful jewelry she has ever seen. "It's beautiful. Where is it from?" Casey asked. "France. They have gorgeous jewelry there," her grandmother said with a smile. "Thank you," Casey said. "You're welcome." Casey noticed a jewelry box in the chest. She held the box in her arm. She kneeled down by the chest, flipped the lid, and there was a paper taped to the mirror. "Grandma, why is there a piece of paper in this jewelry box?" "No reason." Charlene closed her chest and took Casey's hand, but she never answered the question. She looked back at the chest, wondering what her grandmother had hidden. This is a written example from a story. Now let's compare that with this opening scene from Just Add Magic, a kids show on Prime Video.
It's time. Butter. Butter. Egg. Egg. Chocolate. Chocolate? Chocolate. Darby! What? We're cooking, not contaminating. I was just doing chocolate quality control. Please, chocolate is chocolate. Not true. There are all kinds of chocolate. And for this recipe, we need it to be 80% cacao from Belgium. Wow, that's precise. Grandma always says perfection's in the details. Well, now she hardly says anything. It's okay, I'm okay. I just miss the old grandma. Well, having her favorite cooking companion bake for her birthday might just be the magic she needs to feel better. I want the brownies to be perfect. I've never cooked for her before. They're gonna be perfect. Charlotte.
Ladies, congratulations. If you're receiving this text, it's because you don't completely stink and might actually make the team tomorrow. As a reminder, double dribbles are lame for the game, and when in doubt,
Pass the ball out. Pass on her, not the ball. She's a little much. A little? She's not even captain yet. Technically, she hasn't even made the team yet. And neither will we if we don't practice. Buddy Quinn? Aw, put your face in hands where we can see him. Like this? Don't you dare! Or what? No, don't! Buddy? Ow! Buddy! Buddy, get back here! Stop! Buddy! Come back! Buddy? Buddy? Buddy, you're in an out-of-bounds zone. You're breaking parent code and... Officially so am I. I see why. It's creepy. Is anybody else creeped out? Just me? Okay. Roller skate. Close one. Hutch. Shoot. Gotcha. Holy banana pants. What?
The scene opens with Kelly Quinn and her friend. Darby O'Brien and Hannah Parker Kent are baking in the kitchen for Kelly's grandmother, and we learn that she can't talk. Clearly, Kelly loves her grandmother, and she values her family. Her want is that she wants her grandmother back and speaking, but it's also a challenge for her. The last scene is where we see a cookbook, and spoiler alert, it's magical recipes. There are other ways you can start your story, with a prologue, monologue, a setting, action, asking a question, and so on. Check out my other video on how to write a hook in the card to make this effective. Here's another written example in another story of mine called Della's Streaming Playlist. In the beginning, the Filmverse, an alternate universe where movie and TV show characters live. They live by a set of rules, shape-shifting their identities of other characters and becoming new people in the real world. But it wasn't always that way. Before the Filmverse, it was the outer space city given a different name, Arendelle. The people lived a peaceful life coexisting with different species of superhumans. Although the incredible outer space city was under attack by Ebonidians, demonic possessed humans wield the darkest magic of the multiverse. A war broke out, and the people fled into hover cars, evacuating and leaving behind their broken home. Their leaders, Monica Randall and Arkandamore, had to find somewhere to live in secret. They found Earth, where they created a secret universe called the Filmverse, and shapeshifted into becoming characters from stories and television. The people feared if they were to be compromised by the dark multiverse would come after them again. Monica and Arkin began searching through their cosmic universal computers to find someone on Earth to give the power of teleportation to the multiverses, become a protector of the secret universes part of the Filmverse. Can you imagine how all of this can be created in a second? Della was on her way to her favorite coffee shop, meeting up with her best friend Alicia, who is also her neighbor. Della wore a purple top with pink music notes, a flowy black skirt, and her black hair in a side pony. On her way there, she listened to music as she walked. Approaching the cafe, her AirPods began shooting static electricity in her ears and instantly took them off. Della opened the door of the cafe and went inside to the counter and ordered a mocha. Della noticed her friend Alicia, a black girl with curly brown hair, waved at her. She approached the table near the window and sat down. "Hey Della, how are you?" Alicia asked. "I'm good," Della answered. "You ready to get back to school yet?" Alicia joked and gave her a wink. "No, I'm not. Thanks for reminding me, though. Besides, I have other plans this year," Della said. "How do you mean?" Alicia asked. "I was thinking of not going to school anymore," Della said hesitantly. "What? Why? You're only 13. All 13-year-olds have to go to school, Della." Alicia was surprised by what she was hearing. "I want to start thinking about my future, what I want to do in my life," Della started. "Della, that's what your 20s are for, not now. This is absurd. Something tells me there's more to this story of your future," Alicia interrupted. "What's really going on?" "I just don't want to go back to school. It's not for me. Can we leave it at that?" "Della, something is bothering you and you're not telling me. You know you can trust me," Alicia said encouragingly and looked at Della's blue eyes for an answer. "I feel like there's no meaning or purpose of going to school. I want something more to my life, but I don't know what that is," Della admitted and gave her friend a fearful look. "I understand that. You want to know what that is, and you're scared that you might miss the chance to know what your purpose is." "You read my mind," Della said with a smile. "I think you need to talk to your parents about this," Alicia suggested. "But what if they make me go and won't listen to me?" Della asked. "You won't know until you try it," Alicia said with an encouraging smile. "Okay." Later on that day, Della and Alicia went to Della's house with bags of stuff from shopping. They went to Della's room to drop off the bags and returned downstairs where their parents were. Della helped to set up the table for dinner at the dining room table. Alicia and her mom, Nor, helped Mandy bring the food to the table. A big red bowl of Caesar salad, a large circular plate filled with sandwiches, and another bowl of sweet potato fries. They sat down, served themselves, and ate in silence. Across from Della, Alicia knocked Della's leg. Della looked up at her, and Alicia gave her a tell them now look. "Mom," Della began. "Yes, sweetheart," Mandy said, as she turned her attention to Della. "I want to talk to you and Dad about something," Della said. "Is everything all right?" her father, who sat at the head of the table, asked. "Yeah, everything is fine. You see, I was thinking about not going to school this year," Della stammered. Mandy, her husband, and Nora shared a surprised look as if they were taken aback. "I don't think that's a wise choice," Nora, Alicia's mom, said. "I second that," Della's father agreed. "Jack, let's not make any hasty decisions," Mandy said to her husband. "Where is this coming from? Why now?" she asked Della. "I'm starting to feel there's no meaning to school, and I want to start to figure out what my purpose is in life. I'm afraid if I don't take the chance now, it won't happen, Della answered. You have your whole life ahead of you, Della. You don't need to figure it out now, Nor put in. Exactly, that's how it's always been. And you need to focus on getting good grades and excelling in school. That's the only purpose of being there, Jack said. Well, Dad, something needs to change. Life isn't about getting good grades. It's about living, questioning everything, why we're here, and what our contribution is. No matter how old we are, some people start young or old. Why are you against that? Della asked. Basically, Della is struggling with the idea that her father isn't letting her make big life changes. She desires a change to her life and not go to school anymore because she wants to live her life with meaning and feels like there's no point to school than getting good grades. But this conflict makes her feel like in a tough situation. She then unexpectedly gains the power of teleportation from the story from here. Before going to the opening scene, there's a prologue detailing a key element to the main plot that Della discovers the alternate universe of the filmverse that used to be a city in outer space that was destroyed. Now you know about how to write the 1-minute rule in your story. Check in the description box below the video and click the link to a how-to guide to apply this rule to your story. I hope these tips and examples were helpful. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.